This is the Fujifilm X Pro 3, and I just made a video talking about why I purchased this camera in 2023. And I think it's a good video for you to watch, especially if you're on the fence about whether or not you should buy that new Fujifilm camera, or if you're just trying to justify your purchase you just made. It's okay, we all do it. So in this video, I want to touch on how this camera in Fujifilm is changing my entire photography mindset and my shooting style. So let's go ahead and let's get into it right now. What's up, guys? If you're new here, my name is Drewxcifer, and on this channel I talk about filmmaking, photography, and editing tips, tricks, and tutorials. And if you're into that sort of thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because this video is not going to be any different. We're talking all about Fujifilm and photography. So I was thinking back about my photography over the last 6 months to a year, and I was starting to think about the hiatus and the creative burnout that I went through. And I think once you reach a certain level in your photography career, your work sort of starts to plateau, or at least it seems that mine did. And it's not that I wasn't putting out good work, because I was, and it's not that I wasn't getting paid, because I definitely was getting paid, but I just wasn't really excited about the work that I was putting out. It seemed very clinical, seemed a little too polished, and my photography just seemed very routine. I just wasn't excited about the things I was shooting or the type of shooting I was doing. And it's pretty sad when you don't even get excited about new camera gear. So what did I do to fix it? I did the only thing that I could do, and I just kept shooting until I burned out. And I burned out hard. And then I finally took a much needed break. I didn't shoot anything for probably 6 to 8 months. And that's crazy, because I'm one of those people that likes to carry their camera with them every single day. However, that all went away, and I felt like I was missing an extension of my body. I felt like I was missing a limb, because I just started leaving my camera at home. Now, I didn't fall out of love with photography. I just sort of fell out of love with the type of photography I was doing, or the excitement of photography. So real quick, I was watching this photographer on YouTube, and I can't remember his name right now at the top of my head, but I'll link him down below in the description. And he was talking about how there are seasons of creativity. And he was talking about there are your productive seasons, there are your rest seasons, and then there are your experimental seasons. So I went hard on work, and I did that probably for years straight. And I never took time to make that rest period or go into that rest season. And now I think I'm in my experimental season. And when I bounce back into my productive season, oh, we're going to bounce back hard. So I'm beyond stoked for that. However, during my hiatus away from photography, I started looking at different types of photography and different types of cameras. I talked about it a little bit in the last video, and somehow I settled on Fujifilm, and I got it stuck in my head that when I came into this experimental phase, I was going to start shooting Fujifilm exclusively. So prior to this, I have been a Sony mirrorless shooter for about 5 or 6 years. And before that, I was a Canon shooter. I don't necessarily miss Canon, and I love Sony. Sony has given me some of the best images I have ever gotten. But I think that I will continue to use Sony and Blackmagic for video purposes only. But when it comes to photography, I have realized over these last 30 days of shooting with Fujifilm that this is my new camera for photography. So I want to talk a little bit about that and why I feel this way and how Fujifilm is changing my photography. Maybe for some of you guys that are on the fence about switching to Fujifilm, or maybe some of you that are also new to shooting with the brand like I am. So if you're new to Fujifilm or thinking about switching over, then you may have heard plenty of Fuji photographers talking about shooting JPEG only, or getting their pictures straight out of camera. And you may be wondering, why in the Jared Poland would anybody ever want to do this? And I was too, until I tried it. Shooting JPEG, I think, has actually made me a better photographer, if anything. But I used to be that guy too that only would shoot RAW, and I would totally disregard JPEGs until lately. And now I shoot almost exclusively JPEG. And I feel like this has brought the character back into my photography, and it has brought the looks that I've been trying to achieve. And another rad thing that drew me into Fujifilm and shooting Fujifilm JPEGs is the Fujifilm shooter community, specifically surrounding Fuji X Weekly and Fuji Recipes. And if you're new to all of this, it's pretty simple. So this is something that Fujifilm shooters have known about for years. But when you just come from another brand and you're just starting to find out about all of these awesome things that the Fujifilm shooting community has, it makes you extremely jealous because no other camera brand has this type of community. And this is exciting because not only is it allowing me to emulate some of my favorite film stocks, it is allowing me to keep a consistent look in my camera depending on the type of day it is, whether it's sunny, whether it's daytime, nighttime, or whether it's overcast. It doesn't matter. If I want to go out and shoot with a certain look or feel like shooting with a certain look for 1 month or a season, keep a consistent look throughout that time. I can do that easily with Fujifilm Recipes. I think overall it is making me a more competent photographer, and I think it is making me shoot with more intention. Another thing about Fujifilm is they put professional specs in cameras with a small form factor. So what that means for me is no more lugging around these big mirrorless bodies with these big lenses, or hell, even DSLRs with, these long lenses. I am able to get professional results in a small form factor. So it allows me to use these cameras as my EDC. What that means for me is I spend more time keeping my cameras on me, which means more time capturing moments and more time shooting, which equates to not missing certain moments. I am also able to pull this thing out in more public scenarios than I would a bigger camera. And one, I'm not going to get hassled by security for something like this. And I'm also not going to make people nervous when I pull this out to shoot with it. So I'm able to capture moments that I may have not been able to get with a larger size camera. And for some reason, I am finding that not only am I shooting more, but I'm also experimenting more with the type of shots I'm taking. It's almost like Fujifilm has given me permission to chill out and just go shoot, that not every photo outing is a hunt for bangers. It's okay to shoot an ice machine or a dumpster or a burned out single wide trailer. Not every photo has to equate to views or likes or be monetizable. Just go out there and fucking shoot what you want to shoot. Doesn't matter if it's a tree. Even if some of the photos that I'm taking right now in this experimental phase don't make sense, or if they look like crap, it doesn't matter to me because Fujifilm has made me fall back in love with photography, and that is priceless. So what I'm saying is I highly recommend you go buy that Fujifilm camera that you have your eye on. Just don't pay 3 times the amount for the X100V. Or if you have one already, I highly recommend you breaking that thing out and just going on a photo walk. Doesn't matter if you go around your block, doesn't matter what you do, just walk out your door, maybe load up a new Fujifilm recipe and shoot with that for a while and just do some experimentation. Because in today's modern camera environment, we are lucky to have camera manufacturers like Fujifilm. So go out there and shoot, go trespass, mix some things up, get some gnarly shots, and if you're local to North Carolina, hit me up for a collab because I would love to come out and shoot with you. My email's down in the description. Go ahead and hit it up and let's get together and shoot. And as always, if you guys are getting value from these videos, then do me a favor and hit that thumbs up because that helps me here on YouTube. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so you don't miss any more killer content from the Drewxcifer channel. And as always, guys, stay rad, just go shoot, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.